But for this Stockholm Design Week, they have also prepared absolute novelties. This is a lamp called.
We are well acquainted with Scandinavian minimalism, restrained brands, functional forms, and Svensten promotes.
And here they are on the podium, painted in shades of this blue they displayed. Hello, friends. We are with you in sunny Stockholm. Today we will walk with you through the showrooms and events of Stockholm Design Week, which traditionally takes place in February. And to make our walk not only exciting but also highly professional, I invited an interior designer, lecturer, expert in Scandinavian design, and author of the book Scandinavian Design, How to Make a Home Cozy, Katja Carling, who will highlight the most important brands among Swedish manufacturers of interior goods.
Visiting Stockholm, it is absolutely impossible to overlook their swing stand shop. I would call it the Chanel of Scandinavian design. This is an interior brand that turned 100 years old last year and is an icon of the abundant Scandinavian style. We are well acquainted with Scandinavian minimalism, restrained brands, functional forms, but Swing Stand promotes such interior abundance. This brand is known for its bright upholstery colors, soft furnishings, colored glass, and absolutely stunning patterns and prints created by Joseph Frank, who is like the Karl Lagerfeld of this house. The founder of Swing Stand, a female entrepreneur, Istrid Eriksson, established this company in 1924. And from my point of view, Swing Stand is not just a shop, it can be called a sort of cultural institution that promotes the culture of living, the beauty of table settings, the beauty of everyday life, living rooms, and hosting guests. And you can come here not only for shopping, not necessarily for shopping, but simply to immerse yourself in the Scandinavian style, in its abundant embodiment. In Scandinavia, slatted chairs are popular, and there are quite a few in Swing Stand. Joseph Frank designed several models, and the charm of a slatted chair is that thanks to the thin back with slender slats, it allows light to pass through. Daylight enters the room. Surely, everyone knows well that in Scandinavia, daylight is worth its weight in gold, and therefore, when several chairs are placed around the dining table, even a small solid back can block the path of daylight. Joseph Frank also believed that even from a distance, you can see through the slatted back. A beautifully set table, which is why these chairs are very popular here. They are also convenient because they weigh less. As a rule, they are made of wood, which makes maintenance easier. And Joseph Frank believed that the comfort of a chair depends not on its upholstery, but on its designed shape. Therefore, it may turn out that a soft chair can be uncomfortable, while a wooden chair, due to its ergonomic shape, can be very comfortable, durable, and easy to maintain. Joseph Frank formulated the organization of the Scandinavian living room, calling it the Bay Principle. What does this mean? It means that the furniture in the living room is arranged in a notional circle. It is formed by the line of the sofa, armchairs, coffee table, and lamp, and this entire composition is usually united by a carpet. The carpet is also referred to as a room within a room. The items or furniture placed on the carpet visually combine into one picture, and this year, Svensten presented a collection of carpets as part of Design Week, which is made using a hand-woven technique, if you can call it that. These are carpets made from fabric remnants. Svensten produces a large amount of fabric from natural fibers, typically cotton or linen, and some of the fabric ends up as remnants, unused. This could be due to printing defects. Previously, these pieces of fabric and textiles were discarded. Now, they've decided to use them, and a collection of carpets made using the hand-woven technique has been timed for the exhibition in Stockholm. A weaving technique, meaning that on such home looms, craftswomen have created from fabric remnants. These are the kinds of carpets that use materials without waste, essentially, and align with current trends. Checks, large checks, are currently one of the trending styles, so it's no coincidence that this bold contrasting pattern is featured in the Svensten carpets. Visiting the showroom of the Swedish factory Swedish is a must because it is one of the iconic brands of Scandinavian design. The company has been around since 1956, founded by Ingvar Engström, a Swedish furniture designer, and one of the iconic models of this company is the Lamino chair, an ergonomic, remarkably recognizable chair, the most common chair in Sweden, and the most popular model of this company worldwide. and I like Swedish because it is a classic Scandinavian furniture brand. It is manufactured in Sweden, and the company strives to use as many materials produced in the country as possible. This is classic Scandinavian design. This is bent wood. There are many unpainted surfaces where the wood grain is visible. These are usually solid color solutions in soft upholstery. This is a representative of the recognizable, functional, minimalist Scandinavian style. The new product that Swedish presented at this design week is the Mendy chair, which is made with minimal use of materials. It consists of a steel frame over which a textile sock is stretched. It is available in only 9 shades. This is to avoid creating an excessive choice of seating. It is attached separately. There is space here. Companies joke that if you drop your mobile phone, it's easy to pick up. Crumbs won't get stuck here, making the chair easy to clean. And a soft spring, known as a spring cake, is used here. In the seat, where small metal springs are placed in a fabric cover, this creates such comfort and ease of seating. And the company, with the thought of how this chair will not only be produced but also live, and then end its life after decades, all the elements are easily disassembled, so that the materials from which the chair is made can be sorted separately. For Design Week, the company Swedish was preparing a very interesting project. The famous Lamin chair, which has been produced for many decades, some of them required renovation, that is, to arrange a sort of spa treatment for the chair, if you can call it that. And then the company put out a call, and the owners of the chairs, as a rule, they were found in private homes. They could contact the company for furniture reupholstering. Sheepskin was used, and the back of the chair was covered with textile, canvas, which very much resembles artistic canvases. Previously, these canvases were discarded, but the company decided to address the issue of recycling, reusing even small pieces of textile, and they invited an artist who painted portraits. On the backs of the chairs, on these canvases, various portraits including those of the chair's owners. So, it turned into a very interesting story. The chair received a facelift, a new upholstery, but continues to live on in the form of a portrait of its owner. A very interesting experience.
Studio V3 is quite a large showroom that represents various Swedish brands, primarily of a premium level. There is much to pay attention to here. This is, once again, exceptional work with wood. With natural wood, the company has extensive experience working with this material. This includes solid wood, bent wood, and of course, Scandinavian furniture is always associated with bent plywood as well. This is the use of upholstery made from natural fibers, that is, wool, cotton, in certain places, linen, but of course, there is a great focus on ergonomics, the angle of the backrest, the height of the seat, and certain ergonomic shapes of lounge chairs or even some sun loungers. Nevertheless, Swedish design does not exist in a vacuum. There is room for trends here as well, and bright accents appear here and there, which are precisely dictated by the global trends in various color combinations. One of the features I would highlight is the presence of high dining tables, which are accordingly paired with semi-bar stools. There are various benches, and these benches can be either straight or shaped to fit round tables. Benches with dining tables are a very convenient invention because they allow, in my opinion, for a slightly larger number of guests to be accommodated if. Another important feature of Swedish furniture and Swedish design is that there are many transformable, foldable solutions. This primarily concerns chairs, and these folding chairs are just as comfortable as regular chairs. Compact spaces in Sweden, especially in Stockholm, compact apartments, are not uncommon at all. Therefore, this solution, of course, finds its place here. A very important aspect that Swedes pay attention to is attention. This is acoustic comfort. This primarily concerns office spaces, but also, in a broader sense, public spaces and living spaces as well. For this, special acoustic panels are used. They can be quite cozy, made of fabric, again in various, including trendy, colors. These can be solutions in the key of sustainable development. For example, panels made from wood shavings and cement can also come in various designs and can be used both outside and inside, on walls as well as ceilings. And I will remind you, once again, that there should be acoustic surfaces within any space. 120% of the floor area. Accordingly, if you have carpet on the floor, then add 20% in the form of curtains, furniture, with textured upholstery. If you have tiles or parquet on the floor, then add with rugs, add special acoustic panels. Another quite large section of the exhibition is dedicated to finishing materials. This is an outdoor finishing material, but primarily facing brick, because in Sweden, as well as in other northern countries, they really love brick finishes. Surely, you know this without me, there are many different options presented here. And it's not only Swedish manufacturers, or rather, not so much Swedish manufacturers. Tiles are also presented, including Swedish tiles. They have a very specific color palette. These are either colored monocolors or any shades of gray in any absolute textures. But what Sweden is truly famous for is its manufacturers of wooden flooring, or wood-like flooring, and also carpet flooring, and especially linoleum, or marmoleum. In Sweden, there are many large companies involved in this field, and you can probably name these brands from memory. By the way, yesterday in the Stockholm Design District, I attended a presentation of one of these brands, quite well known, starting with T and also ending with T. They are involved in linoleum, carpet flooring, and wooden flooring as well. I really liked the showroom because it was very stylish, very minimalist. As for the Stockholm Design District, I would recommend visiting there as well. There are many quite outstanding companies represented there. And during Stockholm Design Week, parties are held there as well. It's a great opportunity to immerse yourself in such a Stockholm Design vibe. A few more words about acoustics. Of course, these can be various panels made from different materials, but they can also be interior items, among other things. That is, these can be light fixtures that also perform the function of acoustic comfort. Acoustic comfort involves the absorption and diffusion of sound so as to avoid echoes and cacophony, which sometimes occur, by the way, in restaurants. There are also screens, which, on one hand, allow for the division and zoning of space, and on the other hand, again, provide acoustic comfort, which is also quite good. And of course, this is a mobile solution, but these solutions can also be modular. Regarding modularity, and we talked about this, by the way, last time, and at the Design Week at the Stockholm Furniture Fair, this is also a signature feature of Scandinavian design, particularly Swedish. That is modular sofas, modular partitions, and even some modular planters, which, again, work in two ways. That is, they provide zoning and add this greenery, naturalness to the interior, which is given quite a lot of attention. And as for naturalness, or more precisely, sustainable development, eco-friendliness, and so on, it's worth noting one distinctive feature of Scandinavian design. We have all undoubtedly heard about sustainable development practices, recycling, and reprocessing. But now, as I observe, and I saw this yesterday in that very Stockholm Design District, more attention is being paid to what is called upcycling. Because after all, recycling means we take an old item, reprocess it, which means we expend energy and again create some emissions. Because melting down the same aluminium or reprocessing would require energy. But upcycling, in my opinion, is an even more ecological practice. Because we take an old item and either update it or create something new without any deep processes. And in this very Stockholm Design District, there is a gallery called ETAS. So there was an exhibition of young designers, or rather the creations of young designers who mainly use these practices with upcycling. By the way, regarding the Lamin chair, it's re-upholstering, or as Katja said, a spa treatment for the chair is also a kind of upcycling, because we are not recycling and creating something new We take the old and simply update it, perhaps making it a bit more modern in terms of some fastenings, materials, a bit more durable. But the item itself does not lose its meaning, its design, meaning it remains the same. As for the creations of young designers, there were, of course, some amusing ideas. A chair made from old radiators certainly attracts attention, but I'm not sure it will become a mass product. To be continued. It might very well become a piece of collectible design, but I'm not sure about that either. The exhibition at the Jackson Design Gallery personally amazes me with its storytelling. I love such themes. The essence is that a very famous design bureau, the Architectural Bureau of once entered the gallery and saw an absolutely stunning carpet. As it turned out, it was created by Astrid Sampe at one time. She is also quite a well-known textile designer. They didn't know this, but they really liked the carpet. And together with Paul Jackson, the founder of this gallery, they decided to organize an exhibition called Iru. Iru translates from Japanese as indigo, a deep color. That's actually what it's called. And the carpet is made up of shades of this indigo, shades of blue, light blue. That's essentially what it consists of. And so, on podiums painted in shades of this blue light blue, they displayed design classics. Once again selected by Playsun Covista and Rune, and often they didn't know who the creator was. And here, it must be said, there is indeed a lot of this design classic. Here is a bench, the Fina, Yulia, and the Ilmari Tapiovara table, and the Yui Karkapur floor lamp, and also the Georgina Sarfati bulb. And in general, all these names are indeed very significant in Scandinavian design, not only in Scandinavian design, because here, for example, the chair by the same Georgina Kashima is also presented. And in addition, Paul Jackson decided that this exhibition should be complemented with works, so to speak, of this architectural design. And here we see a table that was designed for a Japanese company, a couple of lamps, and a very unusual, although seemingly simple, mirror. The narrative turned out to be very interesting, and when you know the background, you certainly get completely different impressions. A bit about collectible design. The public service gallery showcases quite interesting items. Their collectability lies not in the fact that they cannot be made like that. Whenever you see such simple things, that thought occurs. Well, agree. The uniqueness here lies in the fact that the design itself was created by a Swedish-Scottish designer. I think that already makes it absolutely unique. And these items are made in a small carpentry workshop here in Sweden from fallen, century-old trees. And precisely because each log is essentially unique, each of the items is, in its own way, one of a kind and unparalleled. And I also liked that this gallery combines furniture design, essentially, at least to some extent, utilitarian objects with art, which in turn was inspired by craft practices, specifically weaving practices. These are, you could say, paintings to some extent. They are paintings by the Swedish artist Ins Johnson. And in some of these works, they are directly made from threads representing this weaving pattern, and in others, it is actual painting. But the underlying idea, the starting point, is what the artist was inspired by. And overall, the space is super minimalist, quite pleasant in terms of atmosphere. I liked it. How often it happens that we box ourselves in, thinking we are unworthy, not experienced enough, or lack some kind of fame. The guys from the Laird Gallery who deal with carpets, in my opinion, are doing a great job. They go against these conventions. This year, they are only turning 10 years old, already 10 years, and they decided to reissue their first collection. These are all techniques, usually employed by a company with some gigantic history. They reissue some design masterpieces. The guys weren't shy and reissued their designs from 10 years ago with new techniques in new color combinations. Nevertheless, I think that as a phenomenon, it deserves attention. Friends, don't hesitate, even after just 10 years, or maybe even 5 years. We already have something to say, something to show the world, and to prove to ourselves that we are already worth something, even if we may not have a lot of experience. The Nordiska Gallery is so prestigious that it can afford to commission special exclusive editions of design classics. But for this Stockholm Design Week, they have also prepared absolute novelties. This is a lamp called 53 by Axel Wonberg, and 53 is the angle of inclination of the lampshade. The lamp is all metal, very precisely welded so that these corners and edges are clear, yet not sharp. Another novelty is the Empire chair. Sami, Kallio, and Sami was inspired by the architecture of the 1920s, namely the American skyscraper, the Empire State Building. And so, from a distance, everything looks quite simple. But when you start to look closely at the cross-section, at the details, you realize that the item is really well thought out. And of course, how could we do without artificial intelligence? And the well-known Swedish design trio Front decided to collaborate with it to create new vases. And as a result, a project was created called AI, which stands for Artificial Intelligence, brilliantly bad, meaning incredibly bad. And in this imperfection, which artificial intelligence currently shows, in the creation of design objects, there is something absolutely appealing. And this can indeed be considered as bad design, but on the other hand, incredibly original. Let's return to the comments. Katie, our last stop on today's walk is the Yoshno's house.
The Yoshno's company is one of the oldest Swedish furniture manufacturers. Its showroom, located on the picturesque ship island, is a two-story showroom called House of Yoshno's, situated in an old mansion. Here, tiled stoves have been preserved, and there is absolutely no sense of a commercial space or showroom. It feels as if you are entering someone's home. And in this sense, Yoshno's promotes its philosophy of furniture that is intended not only for offices or public spaces. This is where the company started. But now, as the line between office and residential furniture blurs, this space is open not only to designers but also to a wider audience. Yoshno's furniture is mainly produced in Sweden, in the Småland region. Deciduous wood grows there. Beech comes from this wood. Furniture is mainly produced here. Furniture is made from solid wood as well as upholstered furniture. This year, Yoshno's introduced a new product, a chair that was released in collaboration with the Japanese architect Kengo Kumar. And the chair embodies a Japanese interpretation, or the Japandi style, a fusion of Scandinavian and Japanese styles, which will be showcased at the exhibition. The collaboration between Kengo Kumar and the company Yoshno's began when the architect purchased a small folding table designed by Åge Axelsson. Kengo Kumar was so inspired by this small item that he decided to get acquainted with the company, and from this, a joint collaboration was born. I would call Åge Axelsson a living classic of Scandinavian design because he is over 90 years old. Yet he still creates in his workshop near Stockholm and produces furniture in the traditional way. That is, he doesn't engage in computer drawing but sketches by hand and starts working directly with the material. He works with a carpenter, and therefore there are a lot of prototypes and explorations. Visiting the atelier had been my dream for many years, and a few years ago, this dream came true. Another amusing and touching item recently designed by Åge Axelsson is a tiny rocking chair. Usually, it's quite a bulky piece of furniture that takes up a lot of space and has practically disappeared from modern interiors. But this meditative rocking, which we sometimes want to achieve to relax, now this can be done on the tiny rocking chair, designed by Åge Axelsson.
This is a fascinating story. I've found a lot of new things, although, in general, I previously had the audacity to consider myself some kind of expert. So thank you very much for the comments, for the story, about these 3 wonderful showrooms, about these 3 wonderful factories. Friends, I naturally recommend you subscribe to Katja Carling. She sometimes conducts tours of such events, so be sure to watch for announcements. Also, you can probably order the book Kardanovsky Design, How to Create a Cozy Home or How to Make Your Home Cozy.
To make a home cozy.
How to make a home cozy. Alright, I've learned. In general, friends, follow Katie's Instagram. And there, you can find the link. and order this book. And of course, I highly recommend joining the tour for the next Stockholm week. Design. And you'll definitely learn a lot of new things and see Swedish design, Scandinavian design, in a completely new and more professional way.
Welcome to Stockholm Design.
Yes. And don't forget to write something nice, of course. Subscribe if you haven't yet to the channel, because in the next episode we will take a walk through the Stockholm Furniture Fair.